Welcome back to another episode of YounderTales. You know what? As I was sitting here thinking, going through my Rolodex of stories here, and I said, you know what would be a good story to tell on YounderTales? So I was thinking of when I first started tournament fishing. When I first started tournament fishing, the gradual from just going out fishing to joining a club to getting in a bigger tournament to taking it to a pro-am. Now, to those who might not know what a pro-am is, a pro-am tournament is where one side, the person who has the boat, you show up with your boat, you fish this tournament, whatever the price is, and then you fish against other guys who brought their boat along to fish this tournament. The co side is the person who will be randomly drawn to your boat and be in the back of your boat, and he will fish against other guys from the back of the boat. And they are the co-angler. So you have the pro angler and you have the co-angler. So usually when you start off in bass fishing, as you gradually get better and better and want to take it to the next level, you start off as a co-angler. Now the co-angler is like the whole thing about the co-angler is you get this experience. Now you have the pro price, which is more expensive than the co-angler. So for the co-angler price, you're fishing against other co-anglers, but you also get to fish with a professional who will take you out there on this body of water and you will see him fish at his best or her best. And you get to sit back and pretty much watch and learn things that you didn't know about fishing. So, it's pretty cool that, you get to go out with some guys. Now, the cool thing about a co-angler, well, I guess it's the pros and the cons. The pros is you can look up and draw the guy who's going to win the tournament. The guy who's taking second place. The guy on day one catches the biggest bag of the tournament. You get to see from the back seat the only person to see how that person actually caught him, where he caught him, what he did to catch him. You get to see all of that, right? Now, that as a co-angler, that's the pros of it. Now, the cons of the co-angler is you can draw the guy who is in last place. You can draw the guy who doesn't have a clue what he's doing out there. You draw the guy who boats break down. It's a lot of cons that goes with it, but there's a lot of pros that goes along with it too. You get to, maybe as a pro, you might get to go fish with the guy that fishes as a pro, that as you're gradually seeing, you see this guy that you admire and you drew that guy and you get to fish with him, and it's like a guide trip. So the YounderTales story here today is when I decided to go as a co-angler. Try to step my game up. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm fishing the club tournaments. I'm fishing little tournaments here and there. My buddy, Captain J, Josh Kaneko, Captain J from Ripping Lips, he said, hey, the FLW was up at Lake Roosevelt up in Arizona. He was like, you want to go? We both go as co's. We drive up there. We fish out the back seat. It'll be a good learning experience. And I'm like, oh, for sure. Like, man, I've been wanting to step my game up and fish one of these and kind of see how the professionals are in action. I want to see them working in action. Like, to see it, like, man, that's going to be sick. Like, man, in your brain, especially as your first couple of times, you're like, man, I hope I draw such and such. I hope I draw such and such. So instantly, Captain J, he was like, man, let's ride out there. So I jump in the truck with Captain J. Woo, woo, woo. We smock all the way to Arizona. We get to Arizona. We stay at this nice hotel. Now, this was pretty cool because this was my first actual away tournament from just fishing the Delta, Clear Lake, Lake Berryessa tournaments that's pretty much a couple of hours away or right here at home. So now I'm actually I'm in Arizona, so I'm like, this is sick. Like, I'm not fishing the Delta today. We in Arizona. So we get out there. We stay in a nice hotel. Captain J, I don't know if anybody, for those who know Captain J, Josh Kaneko, who don't know Captain J, Josh Kaneko, my guy, aka Captain J, hey, he's real meticulous as he's very organized with his stuff. He has everything. Like me, I have my stuff usually. Sometimes it might be in Safeway bags. Captain J got every compartment, everything. So for me to go with somebody and actually, that's the cool thing about fishing too. the people you meet, the people you hang out with, or take a chance of saying, hey, you know what? We should stay together at the next tournament. You know, cut costs or whatever, and we'll hang out. And then you guys learn from each other. So it was pretty cool, like, to be with Captain J and see different things about fishing. Like, Captain J put me on a lot of game in fishing. Like, wait till I get him out here on YounderTales. That's gonna be a good one. So me and Captain J, we drive out there, stay nice hotel. The accommodations was very nice. You know, I'm in a jacuzzi. I had the jacuzzi to myself. They had the TV on. I'm sitting there, blah 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 blah. Like, man, this is how you supposed to get ready for a tournament, right? So we get up to we at the room, me and Captain J. You know, Captain J, 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, it's shut eye for Captain J. So, but this is like my first time actually, or my second time actually staying with Captain J. So now I'm kind of like, you know, we met each other through fishing, but now we traveling together. So I'm talking to him, telling him the stories. Like, I'm going in story mode like I usually do. Hey, Captain J, blah, 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 blah. He go, so, you know, and boom, it was like 8:58, right? So he's sitting there like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, and this happened. Yeah, 8:59. Yeah, man. That's what happened. I was like, and then this what happened. And then 9 o'clock, he like, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. I was like, he falling asleep on me. I looked at the clock. It said 9 o'clock. I said, okay, I get it. Jay, at 9 o'clock, he knocked out. So right before he passed out, right, this was the cap of the whole situation. His pro call. So this is how it works. So we get matched up randomly for this tournament. So Captain J got a pro, I got a pro. Captain J pro. Now Captain J drove us there. You know, I'm sitting back, kick my feet up, walking on my back. Captain J pro say, no, my pro calls first. He said, hey, Obedy, you know, they're not pushing off until like 6:30. Meet me like 5:45. 5:50 at the ramp. I was like, okay, perfect, man. I'm excited. I'll meet you there. Captain J guy calls and go, yeah, Josh, I'm going to need you to meet me around the corner from the ramp at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning? I don't understand why guys do that. They show up to the tournament so early. Anyway, so Captain J like, oh, I got to drop you off at your guy's spot. My guy ain't expecting to see me at 5:45. Captain J got to drop me off at like 3:50. So we get there, right? It's pitch dark. We get up to the FLW. They got the whole camper thing where they do the weigh and everything. Nobody's there. It's just locked up sitting there in the parking lot. Captain J drives out. Woo. He was like, all right, good luck. I'll see you later. I got to go meet my guy in 10 minutes. I'm like, all right. Captain J, I get out. Captain J drives off. All you see is the truck lights. Once I can't see him, I can't see nothing. I don't even know. Listen, this is my first time in Arizona. He got me out here in the middle of nowhere. I'm sitting out there in the pitch dark like, what the hell is going on? Like, I was like, man, I don't know what type of animals they got out here. I don't know what type of situation is happening out here. I just know it's 3:50 in the morning. I can't see, and I'm sitting right out front the truck, the FLW, the tournament truck where they do the weigh-in, and I'm like, oh man, I hope no coyotes come and smell me, because I had my snacks. I had like a couple of Twixes. I had some Doritos. I had some jerky. I had some Snapples. I mean, I don't know. Coyotes could have been, sniffing your boy out. I don't know. I can't see. So, but same time, I'm super tired. Like, this is ridiculous. So I put bag down, lay poles down. I lay down. I fall asleep. I wake up, set alarm. Now people starting to show up and everything. My guys show up and everything. So I'm like, all right, cool. Now, this is my first big tournament. My thing is like, man, I hope. First off, you always hope that you get the guy. You know what I'm saying? You get the guy that gonna put you on fish and magic is gonna happen. Of course, that's what you hope. Second off, you might, if you knew like I was like, man, I want to get in one of these nice bass boats. Like, man, look at all these nice bass boats. Everybody bass boats just shining. And I'm like, damn, like, I come from old school tracker. I had tracker that, I got from the auction for $1,000. I'm going to tell you a story about that later. But I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm in tracker, but I'm thinking like, this is my opportunity to get a nice boat. So my guy was like, yeah, I'm down here to the left. I look down, look to the left. Man, my man had the top shelf tracker. I said, man, you got the top shelf. I said, but whatever. He's professional. I'm about to go with a professional. Whatever, it's all good. I still got another day. I get on my man boat. We sitting there. He's like, hey, how's it going, man? We small talk, blah, 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 blah. I say, yeah. And then he look at me, he go, we like third flight, right? They call on numbers out. We sitting there, and he go, yeah, man, I've been here all week practicing. And I was like, all week? He was like, all week. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. And then he say, the wife is upset with me. I took our last money for this tournament. And I was like, the last money? He was like, the last money. The mortgage money? Hey, rule number 1 in fishing, like what they say, do not come fish tournaments when you got the mortgage or the rent money on the line. Don't bet the rent money or the mortgage money on no fishing tournament. This is supposed to be money that you have extra money to go out and fish. But at the same time, I understand. Your boy been down to his last a bunch of tournaments, me and Eastwood. It was like, how much you got? How much you got? Putting it together. Okay, we put this together. We get in the tournament. We got this for gas. How much oil? I got half a jug left. Okay, well, if we got half a jug, we can at least fish this whole area there. Like, me and Eastwood was serious about our game back in the day. So now, okay, so the guy, I'm on the boat, right? And he's like, this is my last. And I'm like, but this is my first tournament. And I'm like, maybe that's how the professionals get, like, that's how it is. That's how intense it is. Like, guys come out here with their last, they come up there with the rent money to bet on this. So I'm like, man, I'm learning something already. Right? I look up at his rods. My man had 9 spinning rods. He had all spinning rods, and he had 9 rods, and they were spinning rods. And he only had them on one side, and there was a big ass bundle like this with the strap over it, right? So I'm like, hey, I'm supposed to be learning something, right? I'm the co-wagon. This is my first tournament. I'm trying to learn from the pro. So then I'm sitting there like, okay, well, I for sure know he on some fish. You been here all week and you gambling with the rent money? Oh yeah, I know you on some fish. So we drive, we get to the spot. They call our number. Woo! He go into this little spot right here, and he's like, yeah, back here. This is where I've been catching them. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I grab my drop shot, old school. I'm Delta guy, so I got margarita mutilator on there. And I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this around. That's how I know to catch them. I'm Rook, so I know this work. Far as my mind, this work everywhere. So I'm throwing fit. I'm looking. I go out there. I'm casting. He casting. Now what he throwing a tube, right? And this is a tube bait. It's like straight up and down. You got the hook right here, right? But my man tube, I look, and it's crooked. It's like on the thing like this, right? And I'm like, he ain't gonna straighten that out? And then he makes the next cast, and I'm like, I ain't never saw nothing like that. But hey, maybe that's some professional stuff I'm learning right now. Maybe I need to, but let me see if it worked though. But maybe I can't judge the guy. He the professional here. He's dragging his crooked jig all the way back. He's dragging it now. I'm throwing drop shot. Dude! There we go. I fired up like, there we go. Get him in the box. All right. We keep fishing. Dude! Oh, there go another one. Throw him in there. He was like, he looked at me and said, oh, I told you. They in here. I'm telling you, they in here. And I'm like, yeah, I believe you, man. I believe you. Now I'm pumped, right? Like, okay, let's go. I keep fishing. Dude! I catch another one. I'm like, oh, that's 3 fish. So then he was like, yeah, he was like, hey, I got another spot, because he ain't caught a fish yet. He's like, I got this other spot I need to go check out. Let's go run over there. I'm like, hey, all right, cool, man. So we pick up, we go to the other side of the lake. Woo! We get to the other side of the lake. He was like, yeah, over here, I caught some of my bigger fish. I'm like, all right. Dude, like I just caught a solid fish. I'm like, yeah, yes. So now now the tension. He ain't caught a fish. Now he ain't talking as much as he was just talking, right? Which is understandable, be fishing as a pro now. I understand that. So now I throw back out there. Dude! Oh, the limit fish. 5 fish for the limit. Throw the limit in there. I'm like, yes! Right? My man, he's like this. He put his pole down. He sits it down. He turns around. He walks up to me. I'm putting the fish in the back of in the live well. I'm putting the clip on, putting it in there. Like, yes, limit. He looks at me and go, Obedy, can we stop right here? So I'm like, damn, what happened? What did I do? Like, did I do something? First time in big tournament. What did I do something? He was like, Obedy, can you hook me up a drop shot rig? Now for those who don't know, this is where the laughter is. When you just get started in bass fishing, they give you a spinning rod. Most likely they're going to give you a drop shot rig. Like, this is like the beginning stage. And for the fact that my man had 9 spinning rods and no bait caster, and not one of those rods was a drop shot rig, and then he turns around and asks me, can I hook him up with a drop shot rig? I was like, I'm on the wrong side of the boat. I knew I could fish as a pro. I thought these guys was something. I thought because he had the jersey and the truck with the rap and all this stuff, and he got on stage and mentioned 100,000 sponsors. Blah, 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 blah. I thought this guy was somebody. I said, oh. So then I'm like, all right. I'm like, no problem. Thank you, Obedy. I set up his rod. Pop, 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 put a drop shot on him. He cast out there. As soon as he casts out there, dude, he catches him, right? Then we both catching him. Dude. We having hella fun. We talking, we cracking jokes. We laughing at stuff that ain't even funny. We just, right? Time to go in. Woo, we driving in. He look at me, go, thank you, O. You saved me. I was like, man, no problem, man. I had a good time, man. It was all good. I got a limit. I'm like, okay. And it was already tough. Now, let me tell you the little backstory. A week before this tournament, it was super hot. Everybody's catching them on reaction. Cranking, they catching them on reaction. That was the thing. Reaction, super hot. All of a sudden, that week of the tournament, it snowed. Shut the reaction bite down. That's what it was. So all these guys who was catching a reaction, they not catching a reaction no more. So for now, when I come in to do the weigh-in, my guy was like, man, thank you, O. I'm about to take this and try to make top 10. So I was like, all right, it's all good. So now I get back. I'm sitting in 12th place. Everybody who knew me, oh, man, you sitting in 12th place, baby. You going to make top 10. You coming with a limit. It's super tough out there. You coming with a limit. In my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got a little something, too. And I know what to do. And then they was like, oh, you got somebody pretty good the next day. So I was like, oh, okay, like, all right, like, I went from a guy who didn't know much of nothing to a guy who do know something, and he for sure gonna put me around fish. Like, this is it. Like, oh man, my first tournament. Like, I'm about to make top 10. Like, yeah. So I get back to Captain J, and so we juice, we go out to dinner and everything. We big kick it. Now, day 2, we get out there, get with my guy. And then he was like, we get in the boat. He goes, hey, good job yesterday, man. You kind of got him. I was like, yeah, I can't complain, man. I was like, hey, man, drop shot, man. We go to these points. We can drop shot. Now I'm trying to tell him, just like, man, we go hit these points right here. We go catch some fish. That crankbait bite is dead, man. We go do this. We go do that. Super juice. He was like, okay, all right, well, I got a spot I need to go check first. And we'll go check that, and then, we'll see from there. So I was like, all right, it's all good. So we drive to this spot, his first spot. Whoa, we get there. My man he's like, I've been catching him cranking. And I'm like, cranking? Oh man, like the cranking bite is dead. I was thinking it's about mine. But I'm like, all right, let me go along. I'm the co. I'm just happy to be here. Let's go. This was the first thing. So we go fishing. He's cranking. It's a bluff wall, like a side of a wall, straight up and down. And then from here to like here was like 5 feet. From here to over there was the abyss, 1,000 feet deep. All right. No man is never gone. So I'm like, all right, cool. He going down the bank. He's hugging this bluff wall, cranking it. Ba, 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 ba. Now I'm sitting here like I could like feel the wall while we were walking. So it was like really no fishing. It was like this much area. And I had my drop shot and I kind of like try to throw it in the front. And it was so rocky. And then as soon as they hit the water, it's back here. And then I get hung up. And I'm like, I have to break off. I retire. I try to do it again. And I broke off. And then I try to throw over there into the abyss. It's just I don't got enough line for it to go down. It's just too much. So I'm like, so then I have myself, I'm holding the line and I'm holding my rod like, what does one do? You know what I'm saying? The adventures of fishing, man, where you go from the beginning to the tippy top. And I'm sitting there like, what does one do? And the bluff as far as the eye can see. So I just had to sit there. I couldn't even fish. So for like an hour, he just kept going down the bank. And I was like, all right. So then he didn't catch any fish, right? So now, boom, he wants to go to this other spot. So then we go to this other spot. And then we're fishing. And I'm trying to drop shot and everything. Nothing, but he's going so fast. He got the trolling motor on the 100. So he's like, whoa, right? And I'm like, oh, man. So I'm trying to cast like a head. By the time it hit the ground, it's already way back there. And I'm trying to reel it in. We didn't catch no fish. So then this was the part where it was like, damn, this is crazy. So now it's like, little more than halfway through the day, he picks up the trolling motor, he drives, woo, he gets to the middle of the lake, he comes off a pad, woo, we're in the middle of the lake. And then he goes, what to do? And I'm like, what to do? I just said, man, we go over hit the points over there, man, we go over there, we catch them. I'm thinking in my mind like, oh my God, this is crazy. There's fish literally right over there. So then he goes back to the bluff walls. And I'm like, no, not back to the bluff walls. We go back to the bluff wall. I can't even fish. I'm just holding my rod. He fished some more. Now it's like 3/4 of the day. He finished the bluff wall. He goes, hey, what was that spot you was talking about where we catch some fish? And I was like, yes, finally. There's like an hour left in the tournament. I was like, hey, as soon as we turn this corner, it's that long point right there. You stop right there, we drop shot, we gonna catch a fish. We'll catch some limit. We'll catch a limit, both of us. So we go over there. Ooh, he gets to the point. I'm like, all right, yeah, get my drop shot. I cast over there. Dude, like, there we go. I knew it. Like I said, they still here. And I look at him like, I told you they're here. Put that fish in there. I make another cast. He's throwing something else out there. Drop shot. Dude, there go another one. Like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I get him in there. He go like this. Okay. He picks up his drop shot rod. He throws his drop shot rod out there. He goes, dude, and he got one. And now I'm like, okay, we both catching him. Like I told you, it's not too late. Now I say, it's not too late. We can catch a limit. So he reels his fish in. As soon as he brings his fish, he put in a live well. I'm like, oh, there go another one. Like, yeah, like, okay. They not that big, but I'm like, for my mind, like, I just need a limit to make it to the top 10. So I get that fish in. I'm like, yes, that's 3 fish. That's 3 fish. As soon as he put his other fish in there and I put mine, he go like this. Hey, Obedy, don't make that cast. And I go, what? He go, yeah, we got like 30 minutes left. I want to go try that bluff wall again. I said, it knocked the wind out of me. Like, we're catching. I want to be like, but we're catching fish. We just went like 6-7 hours without a bite. Now we're finally catching fish. You want to go back to the bluff wall? No, don't do this to me. I need 2 more fish to fish tomorrow. But I had to just sit there like, okay. And put my stuff down. We go back to the bluff wall. I had to hold my rod and reel in the hand like this. He fished the bluff wall. We come back. And I didn't get the limit. He had 1 fish. I didn't make it to the last day. And the funny part was I was so like on fire. Like, I can't believe this just happened to me. Two pros, and it didn't go my way. And I instantly was like, from now on, I'll pay the extra money and I will be a pro. I'd rather it be my fault if I didn't catch them, and it's my fault as well if I do catch them to benefit. So I never went back as a co-angler. So it was my first time as a co-angler and my last time as a co-angler. But then the part of me for like years later, like how I am now, it gets to me because I'm like, man, I didn't give it its just due. Because it's like, you never know. You have to do a bunch of those tournaments because you're going to get some guys that stuff like that's going to happen. And then you're going to get some guys where magic is going to happen. And sometimes you get guys that you can get more guys that's going to help you along the way than hurt you in the tournament and makes you a better fisherman. Because what ended up happening to me was I became good on the California Delta. And when I went to go fish other lakes, I had to pretty much learn on my own, because I feel like my thing is the skills on fishing is when I see it done, it like changes everything. Like somebody could tell you, oh, they're catching on this, they catching on this. And you can take that and go out there and maybe you catch them, maybe you don't catch them. But when you go out there and see somebody actually doing it, it changes you. You like, I seen it. I didn't seen it done. Like, I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I can make it happen because I seen it now. And that was my journey. Like my journey was, I feel I always, before that tournament, I should fish as a pro, but I was scared, thinking that I wasn't good enough. And then I go fish this tournament as a co, as the back, to be like, let me fish with these guys to see why I'm not good enough. And then all it proved was that I was good enough. So I don't hate my decision of that was my first and last, and ever since then it was a pro. It's a harder journey that way, but I'll tell somebody who is just getting in the game, no, stay as a co, even if it's going to be tournaments where things ain't going to go your way. You didn't be able to fish the way you didn't get to fish. You didn't even get to fish at all, or whatever the case might be, because if you fish enough of them, you're going to run across some guys that's going to show you something that you probably was going to take you years and years to figure out on your own. But you got to learn from a pro, which is cool. So, shout out to all the co-anglers, man. Shout out to all the pro anglers, man. And that there, ladies and gentlemen, was a Yonder Tale. Yee today!